So you've just done A-levels and you're preparing for uni. Well, how much of a step up is it? I've got some good news for you. It doesn't necessarily get much harder at university. It just gets so much broader and so much more in depth, so much deeper. What there is though is a massive difference in the way that you study. Gone are having 4 lessons a week on a subject. And if you haven't yet learned to be a really independent studier, then that's now overdue. And you need to make sure you're ready to go with that. So the model of learning in most universities is got 3 parts. It's got lectures, it's got some independent study element, and it's got tutorials. So depending on what you're doing, if you're following sciences, for example, you're going to have lectures, you're going to have labs where you actually get left with some apparatus and work through some actual experiments, and then you're going to have tutorials. Now those tutorials are possibly one of the most important parts of university education. They're typically with a postgraduate student or maybe a student who's a couple of years ahead of you. And they are the most incredibly useful times because they are the only times where you're going to actually get the chance to ask questions and be supported in working through some problems. So make really good use of those tutorial sessions. I would say that the other 2 things feed into those tutorial sessions. And what you need to be doing is to be looking ahead to those tutorial sessions and going equipped with some questions that you need to ask, with some things that you need to work through. You need help. So if you're listening in the lecture and you didn't understand the topic, then you need to go to that tutorial ready to ask about that. And if you're working through something on your own in a lab or some independent study and you got stuck, then you need to go to that tutorial and ask for the help to get yourself unstuck. Tutorials are the crucial time in university. Prepare for them and don't take them for granted. Another thing to remember is that some lecturers are great and some are pretty bad. Some of them will get you involved, they'll ask questions, they're very animated speakers, they're very passionate about what they're talking about, and some will just deliver the material and get the heck out of there. But it doesn't really matter, and don't think that you can't do well because your lecturer isn't very enthusiastic. Remember that the lectures are just there as a way of putting information from the brain of your lecturer into the brain of the students. They're just a very direct way of disseminating information. But get yourself along and listen really, really closely. Now remember, your professors and your lecturers and your tutors do what they ask you to do independently. Take their advice. They know what it takes to succeed in their courses. Make sure you make notes on what you need to ask when you do get those tutorials. Make the most of those tutorial sessions. And ask. Ask your tutors, ask the professors, and ask your fellow students as well. And most people learn to make quite supportive study groups within their courses. Find people that you get on with, but that you don't just mess around with. Work with other people. Remember that in universities there are no exam boards. There aren't some nationally set exams. Now that's an important thing for a couple of reasons. There aren't therefore packs of professionally produced flashcards or revision guides or textbooks that you need to go to cover everything you need for that course. So you'll probably need to make your own or find some students that have already done your course and use theirs. You'll probably need to make your own sets of quizzes and flashcards. But remember also, because there's no exam boards, it's your professors who write the assessments. So listen to them and listen really closely, because the things that they say are the things that they're going to ask in those exams. The things that are important to them are the things that are going to be coming up in those university exams. They are both the teacher and the assessor. So learn what they find important and learn what they focus on. And that's the key to doing well in their exams. You can do absolutely fabulously at university. It's time to be that independent student, to take that responsibility. And I'll give you one more bit of advice. A lot of people love to say that first year is just a waste of time and just for partying. It's not. Make the most of it. Use that time. Get yourself stuck in. First year is the time where you cover all the breadth and all the foundations that you're going to apply as you specialize through second, third, or even fourth year at university. Thanks for watching. You'll do fine and enjoy it. University is an amazing experience.